All right, we're looking at part C on section 4.1. I did find a video where I had already worked out parts D, E, and F, so I've already posted that into Ivy Learn. This is going to be in that same posting. There'll be the video for part C because we did not get to do that one in class either. We are sketching polynomial functions and we're doing it by knowing about the behaviors. So we need to know the end behavior that goes along with this specific polynomial, and we need the behavior at the zeros. Okay, so this is a little different. If you look at this one compared to the first one, the one we did together in class, this was in kind of a standard polynomial format where we have everything's all been multiplied out. It's in descending order. This is different. This is factored already for us. It's been pre-factored. And so we can't even see kind of what the highest power is, which we need to know that for our end behavior. So the first thing you want to do is kind of write in the exponents on each of these factors. If you were to think about what would we do if we were going to FOIL all this out, we don't want to FOIL it all out. We want to actually just be able to tell what our degree is from looking at this. As long as each of your x's inside are a 1, if we go to multiply these two last ones together, you're going to get an x squared as your highest power. And then there's an x to the first here. It's also to the first on the outside here. If we multiply that times that, we're going to get an x to the third. So as long as the inside x's are all to the first power, you can just add up the exponents, your multiplicity exponents that are on the outside of each factor to find your overall degree. Always check out front to see if there's an x out here as well, because if there is, that x is a 0 at 0, the number 0, and that would then also count as part of your multiplicity. Or for your degree, it would count for your degree. So we have 1, 2, 3. If I FOILed all that out, this would be a third degree polynomial. That would be the highest power. So my overall degree is going to be odd. My leading coefficient is negative out front. If we were to FOIL all this out, that would have a negative 1/8 x to the third in the front, of course. And so when we have odd negative, we're up on the left according to our chart and down on the right. So then the nice thing about this version is that it's already been pre-factored for us, so we can find our zeros by just solving each of the factors. Now, if you had an x out front, you'd have 0 as a 0 as well. But since there's no x out front, this does not give us any zeros. If you set negative 1/8 equal to 0, there's nothing to solve. So I'm going to make my little chart, zeros, multiplicity, behavior. I call that my zombie chart. Put these in order from least to greatest, so -4, then +2, then +6. Each one of these factors occurred only once, so my multiplicity is 1 for all 3 of them. And we learned that that means we're going to cross the x-axis like a line. That is going to be the behavior for all 3. So we're going to plot -4, +2, and +6. Put our end behaviors down next. So up on the leftmost point, down on the rightmost point. And then at each of these, as we read it from left to right, we're going to cross the x-axis. So we go from up to down. We don't know where this is going to turn, so we're just randomly kind of picking a point and turning around towards the next x-intercept. Then we're going to go up and back down. So we've crossed through each of our x-intercepts. Now, the last piece for these problems is that we have to tell when is our y, our output values, our function output values greater than 0, and on what x interval are they less than 0. So remember, I kind of color code this just to help me see it. You don't have to do the highlighter. I am greater than 0 when my y values are above the x-axis. So y is up, and I am going to have y values less than 0 when my graph is below the x-axis. Now, when we write those answers, we write them using the x values, the domain values that work for those output values. So this is -infinity up to -4. We can't use a bracket there because we're not equal to 0. We're just greater than 0. And then unioned with 2 to 6. And then the last interval parts for the less than 0 is going to be -4 to 2, union with 6 to +infinity. So that then gets us up to the point where the next video that's going to be posted right beside this one in Ivy Learn will have me working through D, E, and F. And that should be everything that you need for this section. I'll write a little note here. All right, have a great weekend.